Okay, good morning, everybody. Welcome to this book launch. My name is Swapna Narayanan, and I'm going to be your host today for this fabulous event of launching the book of this very young author by name Ritvik Bala. And this event is being brought to you by Odyssey Bookstore and Read and Publishers. Books, as you know, are our window to the world. They take you to faraway places while you enjoy the journey as you travel along these books. Well, in this case, Ritwik for sure has made me feel the presence of Johnny Depp. Now, for those of you who do not know, Johnny Depp is a very famous Hollywood actor and he is very well known for a couple of his movies. But the movie that reminds me when I, read the title of this book is the Pirate series by Johnny Depp. Well, I'll tell you a little bit more about the book and everything else later. Let us now get started. And as with all things auspicious, let us begin this event with an invocation song by Magar Malar. Magar, I would like to invite you to come and sing the invocation song for this event.
கைத்தல நீரை கனி அப்பமோடவல் பொறி கப்பியா கரிமுகன் அடிபேணி கற்றிடும் அடியவர் புத்தியில் உரைபவர் கற்பகமென வினை கடிதேகும் மத்தமும் மதியமும் வைத்திடும் மரன் மகன் மற்பொரு திரள் புய மதயானை மத்தள வைரனை உத்தமி பூசல்வனை மட்டவிழ் மலர் கொடு பணிவேனே முத்தமிழடைவினை முற்படு கிரிதனில் முப்பட எழுதிய முதல்வோனே முப்புறமேறி செய்த அச்சிவனுரை ராஜம் அச்சது போடி செய்த அதிதீரா அத்துயரது கொடு சுப்பிரமணி படும் அப்புனமதனிகை இபமாகி அக்குற மகளுடன் அச்சிறு முருகனை அக்கன மனமருள் பெருமாளே மட்டவிழ் மலர் கொடு பணிவேனே.
Thank you so much, Magar. May the Lord bless you, bless Ritvik, and everybody else in this call. Let us move on. So let me come back to the book now and give you a little more gifts. Have you ever heard or have you ever had or even today have any urge to sail across the world? Do you want to go for daring feats and show your adventurous side? All of us have an adventurous side within us, which we never really realize about, but probably this book is going to allow you to bring that out. So, well, as I said, this book is all about being adventure. So today we have all gathered together to launch this book called as The Adventures of the Scottish Pirates and the Deadly Dragon. Ritwik, not only Johnny Depp, this book seems to remind me of Jackie Chan too. Okay, so this book is about a group of pirates from Scotland, which is led by Captain Pethapagos, his vice captain MJ, and this entire team. And the book revolves around their adventures and travels. Now, who can be part of Captain's group? Only the ones who are fit, daring, and have a strong flair for daredevilry. This is definitely not for the faint-hearted. Now, let me begin by welcoming the author of this wonderful book, Ritvik Bala, his parents, Mr. Praveen Shankar and Mrs. Prabhavati. And further moving on, let me welcome the guests for today. Our chief guest today is Mr. Ravindran, and the guests of honor are Mrs. Rajni Krishnamurthy, and Mr. G. Lokanathan. Mr. Ravindran is the managing partner of Cardwell Manufacturing Limited and proprietor of Sri Ram Textile Engineers, Coimbatore. He has about 40 years of rich experience in social entrepreneurship and has played vital roles in waste management, conserving water, enhancing tree cover, promoting arts and culture, and creating awareness. He's been a great source, and he's still being a great source of inspiration to volunteers. As an acknowledgement for his effective contribution to society in waste management, Mr. Ravindran has been selected as the Swachh Bharat Ambassador for Coimbatore City by the Coimbatore Municipal Corporation, responsible for 100 wards in Coimbatore. He has also been nominated as a Smart City Advisory Committee member by Coimbatore City Municipal Corporation in acknowledgement for his commitment to social service and environmental protection. Mr. Ravindran was also conferred with the Salu Marada Timmakka National Greenery Award for the year 2018-19. Being a key member of Coimbatore Railway Struggle Committee, he was instrumental in rerouting 7 trains via Coimbatore, which were earlier running via Podanur. As the president of Siddhapur Corporation Higher Secondary School Alumni Association, he closely worked with CRI Pumps in adopting 3 government schools. The schools are Siddhapudur Corporation Higher Secondary School, Government Boys Higher Secondary School Ganapati, and Gandhi Mahanagar Government High School, and for the past five years, and he has actually transformed these schools into model schools, and by ensuring these schools win many accolades. The Ratinam Group of Institutions has selected Mr. Ravindran as the icon of Coimbatore 2019 for his exemplary work in the field of social and public service. He is also the founder of a group called as Coimbatore for Tamil Nadu, which is written as C4TN. Mr. Ravindran was instrumental in supporting victims of national disasters like Chennai flood, Kerala flood, and the Gaja cyclone, and provided the much needed relief materials. As part of the strategy team, Mr. Ravindran was also responsible for the Corona Relief Emergency Food Response Operations in Coimbatore. He works closely with Coimbatore Corporation and the NGO called as No Food Waste. And as part of this effort, he has distributed about 13 lakh plus food packets for about 50 plus locations in and around Coimbatore. We are extremely honored to have you as our chief guest today, sir. Let me now move on to introduce the other 2 guests of honors. The other guest of honor with us today is Mrs. Rajni Krishnamurthy. Mrs. Rajni is the managing trustee of Vidya Niketan Trust, and she is the correspondent and secretary of the Vidya Niketan schools, which follow the CBSE curriculum. Ms. Rajni has been a special educator since 1992, and she has been teaching and assessing children with learning difficulties and bringing them onto the mainstream. She is also the director in a family-run textile mills. She also holds a fellowship, the Paul Horace Fellowship, sponsored by the Rotary International. In addition, she also is a life and founder member of Crafts Council of India, Coimbatore. We are honored to have you with us today, ma'am. And especially I want to mention the fact that you enable children to come to mainstream is a very big contribution that this society needs. Our next guest of honor today is Mr. Loganathan. Mr. Loganathan is the secretary of Maharishi Vidya Mandir Senior Secondary School. He is also heading the Maharishi International Residential School in Santevellur, Chennai. He is an initiator in transcendental medicine, meditation, and Siddhi teacher trained in Netherlands. He has traveled throughout India and initiated about 10,000 people in transcendental meditation. His administrative ability has brought over great changes in the organization. He was a general manager in MSKK Nag Private Limited for about 29 years. His vision and mission for society is showcased in the rainwater harvesting project, which has ended up bringing or increasing the water table level in and around the school. He has worked with people of great repute and name, like His Holiness Maharishi Mahesh Yogi Ji, to Supreme Court Chief Justice Shri V.R. Krishna Iyer. He has been a mentor for MSKK Nag. He is also an auditor for ISO 9001. He was nominated that in 2008. He is qualified with a PG diploma from IIT Chennai in fiber reinforced plastics. Not only that, Mr. Loganathan was also a captain of the hockey team in his college years and in his University of Madurai. He was adjudged as the best sportsman for 2 consecutive years. His qualification on as a PG diploma in business administration from the Rajendra Prasad Institute of Communication and Management, Mumbai. In addition, he was the under officer of NCC during his college days. His mentorship has helped umpteen number of people to scale their lives up from being ordinary performers to extraordinary performers. I am so glad to welcome you for this event, sir. And I'm sure Ritwik and all other youngsters who are attending this session are going to be really enamored and appreciative of the fact that this book is being launched by 3 stalwarts who are all inspiring, and we all have a lot to learn from all of you. I would now request all of you to kindly unveil the book. The copy of the book has been handed to all of you. I would request if Mr. Ravindran, Ms. Rajani, and Mr. G. Loganathan can come on screen and unveil the book. Yes, Ms. Rajani, you can also get started. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm sure Ritwik and Read and Publishers, you couldn't have asked for a better launch than this. And as inspiring as these stalwarts are, I wish that your book reaches the same level of success and heights. I would now call upon Mr. Ravindran to say a few words.
Good morning, all of you. I'm happy to be part of this. Program, this book launch program, which is very special to me because Ritwik's parents are my family friends. He has practically grown in front of me. Even when he was a small child, he used to come to my home, and we used to chat with him very often. He used to go for bird watching and trekking with his parents. So right from the young age, he has been groomed to make it big in the society. But I have never imagined that he could write so well. Though I could not read his book fully, I was able to read a few chapters and found it very interesting. In fact, his description of a ship which is struggling to survive in a storm was really beautifully written. So I never thought he could write so well, and I'm really surprised. At this young age, he has got so much of talent in writing. So in another 10-15 years, I see him as a great writer in India. These days, we are worried about children taking to gadgets. All over the world, parents are worried about this phenomenon of children addicted to gadgets. But right now, his parents have always been very careful with him, and I have never seen him with any gadget in his hands. He usually never uses his smartphone, and he's always reading and traveling a lot during the holidays. And I should really appreciate his parents for his excellent upbringing, and I wish him all the best in future. So proud of you, Ritwik. Wish you all the best. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ravindran. Very well said. In today's generation, I'm a mother of 2 kids, and it's very difficult to disentangle them from the gadgets. But you're right. I mean, my views are also the same. The parents are the one who really seem to have sowed the right seeds.
Yes, yes.
And I also appreciate Read and Publishers for actually spotting the talent and giving the opportunity. But
I
anyway,
forgot
we'll
to
talk about them.
let me add a few lines, madam. I
Yeah.
forgot to mention. I thank Rajini Krishnamurthy ma'am because my children were also studied in Vidyaniketan, and all of them are doing very well, extremely very well. My son Sanjay Prabhu is now a blockchain developer, one of the leading developers in US, and that is because he studied in Vidyaniketan, and right from fourth standard he studied in Vidyaniketan. And I told him that I am now with Rajini Krishnamurthy ma'am in a Zoom meeting. He was so happy. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Thank you. You are doing a great job. Thank you.
You bet. Teachers really mold and shape our lives.
Yes.
So on that note, let me just call Miss Rajni to say a few words. Ma'am, please grace the occasion. Tell us what you feel about this book, about Ritvik, and overall your views.
Good morning, everyone. I think this is a very happy and a proud moment for us at Vidyaniketan to take part in today's book launch, Adventures of Scottish Pirates and the Deadly Dragon, which is written by none other than our own student, Ritvik Bala. Ritvik Bala has been a student of our school since LKG, and from the kindergarten, he's been a very good student and a proficiency rank holder. He won the Hindu quiz the first time he participated in the quiz competition, which is conducted every year by the Hindu, which is one of the leading quiz competitions in the state. The teachers are generally of the opinion that in class, his knowledge of every subject is above average. I'm sure that all this is only because of the extra and extensive reading he's been doing, and also, like he said, the support, guidance, and encouragement given by his parents. There is a saying, if you want your children to turn out well, spend time as much with them and half as much money. So I'm sure the parents are doing this. Otherwise, Ritvik will not be what he is today. And gadgets are something which you spend money and get the children. While talking to Ritvik's mother, I realized about the quality time both the parents have spent with him and the compromises they have made in their lives, like not changing their job and adjusting their work timing according to the online classes, which is a rare phenomena today. And parents, always working parents, crib that the children are all alone during the online class. And I'm sure this has contributed towards his success. Once you start reading the book, you realize the amazing vocabulary he has used, the imagination, and every minutest detail, which is, I would say, a gift, and unimaginable and mind-boggling. We teachers will agree with me. We strive so hard to make a child write a paragraph in class. And here we have a boy who's just 12 years old and who has written the entire book. All this is definitely not possible without the constant support and guidance of his parents. In today's times, when most of the parents are busy sending their children for coaching classes and Fiji classes, here we have parents who are very particular and very supportive of a child to pursue his passion and his strengths. Ritvik has not only excelled in academics, but also in co-curricular. I've heard that he's doing very well in music as well, which makes him an all-rounder. I take this opportunity to felicitate both Ritvik and his parents for their wonderful achievement. My prayers and best wishes for their good health, success, and happiness. I congratulate Ritvik once again for making the school and his parents proud. All the best, Grithvik, and God bless you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Very well said. It takes a village to raise a child, but the village have to get their priorities right.
Yes.
So a lot of credit goes to the parents and of course to this individual for his imagination. Yeah, I would now like to request Mr. Loganathan to say a few words.
Jai Guru Dev. Let me start my speech with a prayer to Almighty God, Guru Dev and Dhanvantri Bhagavan. Maasil Veenayum, Malai Madhyamum, Veesu Tendralum, Veengila Venilum, Moosu Vandarai, Voihiyum Vondade, Eesan Yandan, Inedinelele. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwara. Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Om Namo Namaha. Shri Sudarsana, Shri Vasudevaya, Shri Dhanvantaraya, Amrita Kalasa Hastaya, Sakalabhaya Vinasaya, Sarvaroha Nivarini, Triloka Badaye, Triloka Nidaye, Shri Mahavishnu Sarupa, Shri Dhanvantri Swarupa, Om Shri Ausada Sakra Narayana Namaha. This day, 10/10/2021, is a very remarkable milestone in the life of author, 12-year-old child Praveen Shankar Ritwik Bala, of a book writer, Adventure of Scottish Pirates and the Deadly Dragon. As his name goes, he belongs to a big tradition of family. His great-grandfathers were Vaidyas and headmasters. His grandmother was a great Siddha doctor come nurse in the medical field. His grandparents were headmasters of higher secondary schools. His uncle and parents are also great doctors. This contribution in education and health carries a great service to the society. I know Master Ritwik Bala as a child who born in Chandigarh and flown to Arakonam some 12 years back, and I have been observing his growth, which is steady, and his achievements are astonishing. To mention a few, he's a much disciplined, obedient son to his parents, good student for the school. He has developed a skill in public speaking, drawing, writing poems, novels, a great bird watcher, excellent photographer, wild animal lover, and learning the art of converting adverse situation as opportunity like COVID-19 period to consolidating his talent. Within a period of 12 years, he has achieved a pinnacle in his journey by writing the novel, which is due for releasing today. I am extremely happy to participate in this great event. I congratulate him for his great achievements and his parents for the support to nurture him to this level. I thank the Vidyanidiketan Public School Management, especially the class teachers who have chiseled him to make him to bring to this position, and especially his grandparents who have showered love on him and cultivated the habit of discipline in him. Last but not least, the great support extended by ODC, the Leisure Store, and the Read Publishers came forward and did everything, designing cover pages, printing and arranging this wonderful launching pad. I think this wonderful service of the publishing house will help many young prodigies to take writing as their hobby even during schooling. We wish one and all who gather here to, for a launching of book written by Master Ritwik Bala. About the novel, the author is elaborative on the title of the novel in his expression. If I have to say in one word, The novel is a type of read one go. Inside the novel, author reflects his passion for the nature, photographic knowledge, when he narrates about wildlife, animals, the island, sea, ship, submarine, and the way of life of tribals, on their knowledge of medicinal plant, skill in building ships. Author gave me a feeling of my early days reading of a novel of Katalpura. His language gives a feeling, his mastery over the language acquired through vast reading, and I felt like a novel authored by an English native writer. Above all, his parents reflects the way he projects the superiority of above all, his patriotism reflects the way he projects the superiority of Indian Coast Guard. I pray the Almighty, he should reflect his learning like the great mathematician, wizard like Ramanuja, Rabindranath Tagore, and bring the name of our country in a big way in the world arena. Jai Guru, God bless him all.
Thank you so much, sir. And thanks for telling us about his grandparents. As they say, the apple doesn't fall far away from the tree, you know. Well, you're right. I mean, one thing, as you said that, one is there is a skill that you have. The second is, transforming the opportunities available for you and making the best of it. So I would now like to actually tell you a little bit about, Read and Publishers. So Read and Publishers actually started in the year 2020, and its sole vision was to encourage reading amongst youngsters and to bring something productive to the society. And with this in mind, they focus on books written by children or books addressing any social issues. Their last release was a book called as Ithala Tea Party by Akshat Jagan Mohan, which is a young boy again, which received a lot of appreciation and sold over more than 500 copies in the first month or two. With their uncanny ability to spot talented kids, Readon has done it again with this book by Ritwik Bala. Now, let us now move on to the boy of the moment. So we have told about you. I have not given you a lot of brief on the book because that's something I think we should hear it directly from Ritwik. But before I request Ritwik to actually come and say, talk about the book and read a few passages from there, let me tell you a little bit about him. As you rightly said, sir, and all the other speakers today, this is a young boy who is just in his 7th grade and has just finished his 12th year. He's still doing his, he's in primary school. So during his primary schooling, he used to apparently write a lot of poems, which were widely appreciated by his classmates and which I think ignited his interest in writing. And that got corroborated by Mrs. Rajani when she kind of gave us a walkthrough of how, he has evolved. Now, what happened is that during the pandemic, though he missed his usual classrooms and his friends, like the billions of children around the world, it gave him ample time to explore his literary quest. Again, I'll go back to Ms. Rajni's, point that instead of spending time on Instagram or any other, online forums, he chose to kind of dive deep into his literary interest. And then he started kind of working on this book. Though he started this book about 3 years ago, it actually came really rapidly fast and came to life in the last 6 months, specifically when he came in contact with Ms. Jyoti Shekhar from Read and Publishers. Now, his interest in literature started with Swami and Friends. Ritwik loves reading books, and his favorite authors are Enid Blyton, Rick Riordan, Ruskin Bond, Roald Dahl, and Jai Mohan. Apart from literature, he also likes quizzing, playing the keyboard, and watching nature documentaries. He's a nature enthusiast who likes birding and bird photography. He's a great fan of David Attenborough, and you can find traces of his influence in the book. Now, I would request Ritwik to talk a bit about the book and also read us some passages from there. Welcome, Ritwik.
Good morning and thank you for that grand introduction. If there is a book that you want to read, but it hasn't been written yet, then you must write it. It's a quote by Toni Morrison. The thought in this quote is simply mind-blowing and inspires all the free minds, especially the young minds, to be liberated from the daily chores and embark on a new expedition, which is much removed from the convention. Good morning and a hearty welcome to Banana Canal. Back in the year 2016, I was studying in class 2. My father used to tell me many stories on our way to school. Stories about butterflies the size of mansions, sharks in laboratories, and mothers who fought ostriches. But whatever story he told, it won't be a story he read or heard. He would cook up one story fresh in his mind with a lesson in it. Lessons about science, geography, on moral values. Once, he told me this story about a tango of pirates. Though it was smaller than the other stories, it was really enthralling. After I came back from school that day, I started to write the story bit by pieces. When at last, after 3 years of writing, I ended up with a small book in my hands. It would have fitted in a small storybook if it were printed. My mother could finish reading it in just 30 minutes. Then, one pandemic lockdown day, I decided to rewrite the story all over again in the form of a diary. It was then that I came across this article about a young author. There, I read about Reed and Publishers. I sent a few pages of my work to them. The 19th of May, 2021 was one of the happiest days of my life. I received a mail. It read, "Dear Ritvik, I went through your pages. You have a good imagination, very interesting writing. Let us speak and discuss on what can be done further. Regards, Jyoti Shekhar, founder, director, Reed and Publishers." From then on, the book grew in size and quality. And in that process, the diary entry format was replaced with the third-person narrative format. I chose the fantasy genre for this book because it is in that genre that the readers and the writers might imagine the most. And that is why fantasy is favored by children and adults alike. Books have always been my best friend. I used to read J.K. Rowling, Veronica Roth, Rick Riordan, R.K. Narayanan, Roald Dahl, Sudhamurthy, and many others. I learned a lot from these books. Roald Dahl adds a tinge of laughter to our life. Well, Rick Riordan taught me about how to make the readers roll with laughter without deflecting from the story. And Sudhamurthy and Ruskin Bond explore the depths of life and explore its values through their philosophical short stories. I even learned about the amazing tricks nature has up its sleeve after I read 2 books written by the great TV anchor David Attenborough, which makes me his great fan. Like this, books are always a wonderful thing which we can have as a friend. They never leave us alone. And I promote this wonderful art of reading a book without any distractions to anyone whenever I get the chance. My story is all about a tango of pirates who rampage ships under the captainship of Pedagogos, his trusted lieutenant, Muringa Julifera, also called MJ, and his scruffy and hilarious assistant, William Kidd, to add a tinge of laughter to the story. I thank Miss Jyoti Shekhar, who has edited my story to perfection and without whose support and skill, the story wouldn't have come to this stage. I also thank Mr. Anand Subramanian, who has produced the finest illustrations for the book. We used to talk for long hours, and he used to ask me many questions to ensure that he produces what I picturize on paper. Like this, with all the support from these friendly people, Adventures of Scottish Pirates and the Deadly Dragon is published. I hope you enjoy reading the book as much as I enjoyed writing it. Thank you. Now, to read a few pages of the book, here I am. To give you some clarity on what happens here, Pedagogos and his team once sailed across the Pacific Ocean to escape from the Indian Navy. MJ, on their way, two interesting events happened, of which this is one of them. MJ at last managed to pull up all his men and started sailing southeast. They sailed and sailed and sailed and sailed when at last they spotted another island. Pedagogos sailed toward the land. Is this that island that mystery man told you about? Asked Pedagogos. I don't know, replied MJ. Pedagogos, with the help of other men, hauled the anchor to the sea. The forest was not so dense. Suddenly, Pedagogos spotted a large lizard on a rock. He gave a little shout. It looked like a Chinese dragon. MJ said, it's just an iguana and it's basking in the sun. Pedagogos, instead of telling bad things to MJ concerning his future, as he usually did when riled up, just smiled. Then he sighed and sat on a rock. Suddenly, he toppled down. The rock moved. Out of it came a long head, stared at him as if saying, look out, ya punk, and turned away. It slowly plodded away. What was that? Asked an innocent and startled Pedagogos. There came a loud laughter from behind the trees. MJ jumped around. It was a man dressed like a seafarer, carrying a tortoise on his back like a backpack. Who are you? Snapped MJ, pushing away the gun Kid was pointing at him. Oh, sorry, that was hilarious. Anyway, I'm Sir David, captain of the Voyager. Welcome to the Galapagos Island, he said, and offered his hand to MJ. MJ hesitantly shook it. I'm Katrika Kulifora, vice captain of the Dragon, and he's Sir Mutagos, captain of the ship. And please meet Mr. Ludd, my assistant, said MJ, pausing a little before each name, thinking of a name that will never give a clue. Sir David smiled and shook each of their hands. He had to control his laughter after hearing such weird names. Gross names. No one will find me with such a horrible name, muttered Pedagogos to himself. Hello, Captain Mutagos. Can I call you Mutta? Asked Sir David. Pedagogos wanted to punch MJ on his face, but just settled for glowering at him. Cat got your tongue, I see. Sorry for that. I'll take that as a yes, Mutta, said Sir David. Turning back, just in time to see that the tortoise which he had caught was escaping. He grabbed it. Why are you catching a tortoise? Asked MJ. Don't you know I am doing that? Sir David, and broke into an explanation on how sailors carry tortoises to their ship to sustain them on the journey and how tasty tortoise meat was. Thank you, sir. That will help us a lot, said MJ. Where are you going? Asked Sir David. We are going to Brazil via Captain Mutagos. What was that name? I don't remember it. Asked MJ to Mutagos. Panama Canal, said Pedagogos glumly. The Panama Canal? Are you serious? Interrupted David. Why? We are sailing straight towards the Panama Canal, said MJ proudly. I'm so sorry to break the news, but you have come 1,000 nautical miles in the wrong direction, away from the canal. Oh dear, that's so heartbreaking. Can you tell us more about it? Asked MJ. The Panama Canal is a trade route built between North and South America. It is so useful. Before it was built, we had to sail all the way south towards Antarctica and sail all around South America. It was heck a lot of problems. There aren't many ships in the south to steal from too, said David and stopped. He stared. The color drained from his face. He became hot. Sweat beaded his face. Excuse me? Asked MJ. The others in Pedagogos' crew froze. David turned to run, but MJ managed to push him. He fell flat on his face while with the heavy tortoise crashing. The tortoise, seemingly cursing David, slowly crawled away. You don't mean, stammered MJ. Captain David of the Flying Ray, said Pedagogos. Yes, please don't kill me. I surrender, said the great pirate David. Pedagogos felt bad for the poor guy. He was a great pirate and he was sorry to catch him so easily while great navies had failed to find the pirate. Pedagogos revealed his true identity. MJ did the same. Oh, thank you, he said, but those were his last words. There was a sudden bang and David fell on his face. He turned grey. There was a deep wound on his back caused by the bullet. But the Bagos, MJ, and his team of pirates just turned and ran. They didn't look back. They were deaf to any sounds behind them. Do you want to know if that mystery enemy who caught David caught them to read the book to find out? Thank you, and over to the moderator.
Very good. Thank you so much, Ritvik. This book really intrigues and excites me. And of course, the name Captain Mutakos, is definitely the driving factor. I so look forward to read this book. Now, Ritvik, you have quite a few messages where people are blessing you and congratulating you and appreciating you for the amount of work you have done and blessing you to reach to much greater heights. And I kind of completely reciprocate the same. I would now like to call upon the audience to ask any questions that you have to either Ritvik or the speakers or read-in publishers. So either you can type in your questions on the chat or you can unmute yourself and ask, and I'll help you moderate. Okay, any questions? Okay, so there is one question which has come. Let me just read it. Have any real life people that you have seen or known inspired any of the characters in the book? If so, who and which character have they been an inspiration for? Ritvik, can you answer that?
Yes, I'm glad to answer this question. Amazingly, no real life person which I've heard or met have inspired any characters in my story. But after I finished writing the story, I met a person who exactly resembled Kid. The same face and the same smile. He was exactly like the carbon copy of Kid. But I won't be able to tell you who that person is.
Very nice to hear. Not surprised, because as you said, your father used to tell you a story every day, which was kind of imagined in his head. So I guess you kind of began from there. Okay, you have more congratulations coming your way, and there's somebody who says that hope you fill your bags with rich stash throughout the adventures you endure on your incredible journey, commandeering the ship in your life with the flourish of your pen. All the best, mate, Captain Jack Sparrow. So I think that's the best, what do you call, testimonial that you can get, Ritvik, that somebody feels that here.
Pirate wishes me, and that's the greatest thing I could have.
Yeah. So there's another question which says, what inspired you to write this book? This one gentleman has asked, what's your inspiration and what inspired you to write this book?
So basically, I used to read many books, and books, as I told you, have been my very best friends. They always give me company when I'm alone or bored. And when I sit on the couch and when I get buried inside a book, I forget about the world, and I entirely give my mind and heart to the world mentioned in the story. So that's what drove me. That made me understand how powerful books can be, and how an author is able to change the world itself, and how he's able to bring and hypnotize the author into his own world and twist and turn his mind as he wants it. So that made me very interested and curious to know how it is to write a book and make the readers make the readers under this spell. So I gave it a go, and this is the result.
Awesome. Excellent job, Ritvik. Excellent. Okay, there's one
Swapna,
more.
can I interrupt?
Yes, ma'am. Tell me.
Jyoti, are you there, Jyoti?
Yes, ma'am, I'm there.
Jyoti is his, Jyoti Miss is his SST teacher. She's the SST teacher of our school.
No,
I think she will agree with me. I mean, talking about the Panama Canal and, you know, discussing about all this. I think he has his geography, history, everything in place.
Well said.
He remembers all that and he's put that into the book. That is really amazing.
I just wanted to tell you something. Jyoti ma'am, it's not she's not referring to you. There's another Jyoti in a school who is my teacher.
I
Okay,
got
fine.
it. Sorry,
Yeah, I got it.
I could not see another
So,
Jyoti there. So.
Rajni ma'am, Redans is headed by Jyoti Shekhar. So when you
Okay.
called out Jyoti, she thought, you know,
Okay.
you're calling her out. That's
Okay.
fine.
I'm also there. Excuse me, I'm also there. What ma'am
And
says is
Jyoti miss, she's very keen and, you know, I should appreciate the teachers also during this time. She was very keen and push always, not only Ritvik, all the children pushing them to perform their best, to do well in quiz and asking them to participate, you know. And but this about bringing the concepts, what he's learned in geography, history into the book is really amazing.
Amazing.
Very good. Very good.
Very
work.
true. I totally second that. So there's one more question, Ritvik, which I would like to, which I'd like you to answer. So the question says that over the course of writing the book, if you ever felt like taking a break when it became a little too overwhelming, what were the ways in which you would put yourself in a better mood? This is probably a young author ready to write. So how did you get around that feeling of overwhelming that, oh, I don't know what to do next? What shall I do? You know, so how did you address, you know, days like that?
To be precise, I never wrote this book continuously. Okay. I used to like, if you look at the 3 years period, I would have written the book like for 3 months in those 3 years. So when I wrote the book for 3 years, I didn't write it continuously. Or if I had written this book for 3 years, it would have been like the size of War and Peace, and young readers wouldn't have been able to read it freely. So I wanted to keep it short. So I took many breaks. I couldn't call it breaks. In my breaks, when in my school breaks and when I wrote my homework and when I was bored with all those things, I used to take out my Word document and type the story. So I didn't take break from writing the book. I wrote the book when I was taking a break. So that's how the question goes.
True. Very nice. Good to hear that. Okay, so there is one more question and that would be the last. And then after that, we would like to move on because we are just about 12 minutes away from the closing time. So the last question is, which was this? It was basically, is there a sequel coming?
I'm really planning about a sequel. I'm planning about a series of this book, but my father, but with the suggestion of my father, he told me to try out different genres like science fiction and everything, which is more interesting than fantasy. So I should go with that. After we complete all those, like I can sit and write a sequel for this book.
True. So I hope you're reading Isaac Asimov and Robin Cooks and all to get into the groove. Very good. Excellent. God bless you. So thank you so much. And thank you everybody for your questions and your, blessings for this young child. Okay, let me now call upon Mrs. Prabhavati, mother of Ritvik, to, offer the vote of thanks.
ma'am, my video is off, ma'am. Can you just on it up? Stopped.
Ms. Jyoti, that's something that you will have to do on your end. We cannot enable the...
No, I did it. It is not coming.
You're visible right now. You're visible right now.
Come only, ma'am, because you did something, I think. Sorry.
No. You're visible.
That's fine.
Yes. Yes, Mrs. Prabhavati, can you please deliver the vote of thanks?
Yes, ma'am. Excuse me, ma'am. Jyoti Balakrishnan, ma'am, do you want to ask any questions to Ritvik, ma'am?
The main thing is we wish him all the best with whatever work he's taking up and let him do all the best is what my wish is. Because I've been seeing him, all the quizzings and everything, he will take very active part. Just I have to tell her, he will be sitting with the seniors in their classes. The 9th, 8th, 9th will be there for quizzing and he'll be the one who will be sitting along with them, studying in the 5th. That's
you,
all I have to say. So I think he will go ahead with doing a lot of things, writing a lot of books more. All the best.
Thanks a lot, ma'am. The whole credit goes to you, especially he winning in Hindu competition, ma'am, because you were the one at the last moment who paid for him and then just changed everything and set the mood for him, ma'am. Thank you so much. And thanks from my part.
Actually, we have to thank our ma'am, who's the encouragement for all of us.
Yes, ma'am.
The first thing is, because of our ma'am, we are really encouraged to do more and more for the children.
Thank you.
I second that, Jyoti ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Correct. We'll second. Exactly. That is what we keep on doing for our children.
Even me, ma'am.
Congratulations, Ritvik. We're really proud of you. Maybe we'll see a movie out of your book very soon.
I'm actually planning when I grow old and when I become a theoretical physicist, I'll like take a movie on it.
Ma'am, actually, I want to ask you that, Ritvik, are you still in the idea of taking a movie? I remember you telling.
I've not forgotten it, no.
Yes, and who's going to be the heroine?
You.
Yeah.
I just wanted to tell you, Rama over there, she was my best, she was my most favorite teacher, and till now, she's been a motivating factor for me. And she's taught me a lot of how to be disciplined during the class and like how to be moral in life. So she's one of my very favorite teachers. So I wanted to thank her also.
Thank you.
Can I add one thing? I was his science teacher last year, and every year I used to read books to meet his requirements, because every day he used to ask questions. So I used to check on books to get some questions to twist him up. Like it was yeah, my video is just on. Yeah. So Ritvik, every day when I go to 6C, I used to read more, and I used to ask so many questions so that I know one question will be caught. It was like that. And very interesting child to teach, really.
Very good to hear. I'm sorry, we're kind of running out of time. So, Ms. Prabhavati, can you just deliver the vote of thanks?
Yes, ma'am. Good morning, everyone. I'm pleased to give the vote of thanks. I'm grateful to Read and Publishers and team for providing opportunity for a young boy to pen a book, especially Ms. Jyoti Shekhar, who had the confidence in Ritvik's writing skills and took great efforts and spent a lot of time in editing the story to perfection. I take this opportunity to appreciate Mr. Anand Subramaniam, who diligently worked with the author and made sure the illustrations help us to travel along with the characters in the story. The front cover is a wonderful example of his expertise. We thank Mercury Superprints for their impeccable job that is evident even in the first look of the book. I keep on record our indebtedness to Dr. K. Vijayakarthikeyan for writing the foreword for the book amidst his very busy schedule. My words may not be capable of communicating our sense of gratitude to Mr. R. Ravindran, a very good family friend of ours, for being the first person to whom we would look forward for his advice and guidance. He remains a constant source of encouragement for our son, especially in his literary quest, as he himself is a huge fan of literature. We remain grateful to Mrs. Rajni Krishnamurthy Madam for accepting our invitation and honoring us by her presence in this event. I take this occasion to salute Madam and all the teachers of Vidyaniketan Public School for honing Ritvik's skills, imparting good values in him, and providing a platform to experiment his skills, thereby contributing immensely for his betterment. I sincerely thank Madam for making this event a memorable one with her motivating speech. Mr. G. Loganathan, my beloved uncle, richly deserves our gratitude, and I offer the same for all the support and guidance and for being a true inspiration for his grandson. He is like a compass who shows us the right direction to move forward at any point of time. I thank him from the bottom of my heart for keeping me reminded about the need for the holistic development of children. I extend my gratitude to the Odyssey bookstore for their constant support and encouragement to the young authors and for providing their Facebook platform for live streaming this event. I thank Ms. Swapna Narayan for graciously accepting our request to be the moderator of this event. She is the country head of Kaplan India, also the chief editor of IRA magazine, a magazine dedicated to empowering women and reminding them of what all they can do. She took the whole proceedings of the event to a greater level through her enthusiastic moderation. I sincerely thank Mr. Tambaya and Ms. Shravanti Padmanabhan of Smriti Academy for creating a strong hold on the language, which has been pivotal for Ritvik in writing his book. I also thank Ms. Mahir Malar, who helped us to initiate this event in an excellent way with her sweet voice. I thank people from press, especially Simplicity, Dinamalar, Times of India, and Hindu, for covering this event and spreading word about the book among their readers, which would definitely encourage more children to pen their works too. I thank all the friends and relatives for their constant love and support for Ritvik in all his endeavors. I thank all the guests wholeheartedly who have joined us in the meeting and interacted with the young author, as well as those who are watching the event live on Facebook, for finding time to be present on this pleasant Sunday morning to encourage our son. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Prabhavati. And thank you, everybody. As she rightly said, to spend time on a Sunday and encourage this young author. God bless you, Ritvik. And we hope that you write many more books, will create many more movies. And I also thank Odyssey and Readon to ensure that you continue to strive in your quest for bringing out the best, talent and making us, the readers, make the best use of it. Thanks, everybody. With this, I call the meeting.
It's an excellent job by Odyssey and Reading Quest. Excellent.
Yes. Thanks, everybody. Have a
Thank
good
you for all the support guests who are watching, who are live on this Zoom platform, as well as who are live watching on Facebook right now.
Thank you. Thank you, Odyssey, for the great launch.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye.
Yes, we can't wait to read the book. So we will all read the book and give you our feedback. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.